In today's video, I'll be showing you DIY hacks for your old IKEA furniture, a cool way to customize your plastic sterilized drawers. I'll be trying out the weirdest way to use a weed whacker, which is trimming my bush. Then we'll be testing out some hot glue life hacks that mostly suck. Plus more things you guys dared me to do in the comment section. In the last video I asked you guys, what is your favorite sound? And after reading your comments, I realized I should probably start an ASMR channel. But I won't. I mean, my parents are already embarrassed enough. And since you guys came up with so many comments, I thought I'd ask another question. What is the last thing you did for the first time? It could be anything from getting an A in math class to eating broccoli for the first time. For me, it was wearing a tuxedo. I was a groomsman in someone else's wedding, and I'd never worn a tuxedo before, but this was my first time. But be creative with your answers, and put whatever you can come up with in the comments section. I'll be picking 10 of my favorite to be featured in the next video. For this first segment, I'm not sure if I should call it genius or completely stupid, but a lot of you guys have been asking me to trim my bush with a weed whacker, and while you may not have meant literally, it did kind of get me thinking. So you tell me, is this really smart or really stupid? I'm pretty torn about it, to be honest, because while I was doing it, I was pretty sure that this was the quickest way to get the job done, especially since I don't have an actual hedge trimmer. However, I was also really hoping that my neighbors did not see me outside doing this. They already think I'm crazy enough. So you tell me, stupid or genius? Moving along, the next thing I wanted to show you guys was an inexpensive way to customize your sterilized drawers with LED lights and an iPhone charger. The first thing I did though is use my Dremel to cut away a little bit of plastic on an extension cord plug. Then I just fed it through the hollow corners of the sterilized drawer. Then I hot glued a string of LEDs underneath the different sections of the drawers. And I did have to cut a little bit of plastic here and there, but it was fairly easy to make everything fit. And if my instructions were no good, I'll be able to show you exactly what I did right now. So this is the little end table that I've built, or I guess you could just say customized. And you can see that the lights are completely hidden, but if I point the camera upward like this, where no one would ever see, you can kind of see what I did here. I just have the Christmas lights hot glued in, and then they go down each one of these things, and then they just go back across. And I got that going the whole way down, and I think that makes a really cool effect. So now as far as how this thing is wired up here, I have the power cord going inside of the corner, and it goes all the way up to the top from inside of the corner. It's actually stuffed in here, and I have it glued underneath here. So it's pretty simple. I just took the power cord, ran it up the side, and hot glued it underneath here. I don't know if I would say that it looks high end, but it definitely looks cool. And I did the same thing to the other one down here. But I may have gone a little bit overboard with the accent lighting and USB cables everywhere, because in the middle of my couch, I actually already kind of have that. Yeah, so there's already USBs in here and electrical plugs. And if I press this button, lights turn on. But now I really feel like I've got the perfect setup here. And having a good functioning end table is definitely part of that. But you guys tell me, is this something that's worth doing? I definitely feel like it is. I mean, obviously I did spend my own time doing it, but I just think that looks really cool, and I did it for very little money. And that being said, we'll be on to the next thing. Next up, I have one of those unfinished 3-drawer dressers from IKEA. They're really inexpensive, so a lot of people have them. And I wanted to show you guys what I think is a pretty cool way to customize one. All I did was take off the handles and paint big fat blue lines all over it. One set of lines that's kind of bursting from the bottom, and another set that's kind of bursting from the top. Then I covered each blue line with a piece of tape. Then I painted everything black and removed the tape, which is my favorite part. A few of the lines did need some touch-up paint after I was done, but it was fairly easy to fix the mistakes. Then I added a different set of door handles, which I think makes it look like a much more expensive piece. And of course, I threw LED lights behind it because LED lights make everything better. And I think it looks really awesome, but a lot of the times after I'm done making something, I think it looks really awesome for a little while until I notice all the imperfections with it, and then I hate it. But for right now, I really love this thing. And unlike most furniture, I actually think that this looks better with the lights off. Having a cheap string of LED lights behind it really helps the ambience of the room, and it definitely helps accent the furniture. And I'm just really into accent lighting. I think it looks really cool. But let me know what you guys think. Is this worth doing, or did I just ruin my dresser? I'll let you guys decide. Next up, hot glue gun hacks are some of my favorite. Some of them are also ridiculously stupid though. So I decided to get my hot glue gun to find out which is which. For the next part in today's video, I wanted to test out something that life hack channels and survival hack channels have been trying out for a really long time. And that is covering a match head in hot glue so that it can be submerged in water and still light. Now I think the basic principles behind this work. I mean, you cover the match head so that it doesn't get wet and therefore it will work. But I have a feeling that when you peel off the hot glue, you're probably gonna rip off part of the match head, and if you don't, then maybe water even seeps through. I don't know. But we are gonna put this to the test, and if it doesn't work, then that's only to be expected. That being said, let's get this thing going. So watch how easily the match strikes when there's not hot glue on it. Pretty perfect. But now I'm gonna take a very similar match head, cover it in hot glue, wait for it to dry, and then submerge it in water. Just for good measure, I'll do a few of them. All right, now here's two. I'll let you guys place your bets. Do you think that they'll both work, neither of them will work, or one of them will work and one of them won't? Seeing as how there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong here, I'm gonna say that neither of them will work. But I did try my best to cover the complete match head in hot glue, so hopefully this does work, but we'll see. The hot glue is completely dried on this one, so I'm gonna put it underwater and see what happens. I'm only gonna leave it submerged in there for just a short period of time because I don't wanna make this any more difficult than it has to be for this to work. But I do wanna have it completely submerged for a decent amount of time because otherwise we're not really testing it that much, are we? Now I'm going to try to peel off the hot glue and not peel off the match head. Oh, it looks like it's coming off. Now, is the match head going to work or not? That's the big question. Yeah. Okay, so I was wrong about that, but I'm happy that I'm wrong. And I'm pretty amazed as well. And I'm just guessing that this one probably would work as well, but I'm gonna light it with the hot glue still on there just to kind of see what happens. Okay, that was fun, but that wasn't a fair test. Let's do one more. Okay, now I'm gonna submerge this thing and we'll see what happens. Just keep it under there for just however long enough it takes for me to be satisfied that this will actually do its job. I know that probably seems like a long time, but it's just a few seconds. All right, now let's see what worked. Uh-oh, this one, the match head is destroyed. Wow, well I guess it doesn't always work because there's no way that thing is gonna light. I mean, oh, I take that back. Okay, but the match is really destroyed looking. You definitely wouldn't want to bet your life that this is gonna work, but you've got at least a 50-50 shot. So I say if you're in a life or death scenario, this might be okay, just definitely pack more than one match. And that being said, we'll be on to the next thing. The next thing that I've seen a lot of people doing on the internet is putting hot glue all over a light bulb and then plugging that in and projecting whatever is drawn on that light bulb with hot glue against the wall. I think that would work, you know, if this was an LED bulb, but I gotta be honest, they never ever specify what kind of bulb to use. And I'm almost absolutely certain that if we cover this thing in hot glue and then plug it in, it might make those cool shadows against your wall for like a minute, but then all the glue is gonna melt everywhere and you're gonna have a huge disaster. And to be honest, either outcome sounds pretty entertaining to me. So I figured this would be the perfect life hack to test out. So I have just a normal halogen bulb here. It's gonna get really hot and it's gonna be completely covered in glue. Now ordinarily, you could use a lot of cool colors and take your time to make a really awesome design, and like I said, on an LED bulb that would work, but we're gonna do it the way that doesn't. So I'm not gonna really take very much time in making sure that the design looks awesome. I'm just gonna do it, then we're gonna watch what happens to this light bulb. Should be pretty fun. All right, that looks absolutely atrocious. I mean, I don't know, it looks kind of cool, but just knowing that it's gonna be a big glob of hot glue all over my floor in just a few minutes makes it not look as cool. But we're gonna give it just a second to cool down, then I'll plug this thing in and we'll find out what really happens when you follow life hacks to the T. Okay, now before this gets out of control, I can already tell you what's going to happen because the hot glue is just not holding up. It's definitely becoming liquid. Although, I gotta admit, none of it was dripping off. Before I did that, it was all still exactly in place. So, who knows, maybe this would have gone on for a while, but I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want this going all over my floor. I mean, it's definitely liquefied again. This life hack was a fail, but like I said, it could definitely work under other circumstances. We were really just trying to put this thing to the test to find out if there was any flaws in it, which Like usual, there were. That being said, I've been staring into this light bulb for long enough now to where I'm pretty sure I'm legally blind, and that being said, I'm gonna turn it off now, and we'll be on to the next life hack. So if you found this video helpful, or if you just enjoyed watching it, make sure to leave it a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and of course bell me for notifications if you'd actually like to see the videos. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys in just a few days with a new video. Alright, thanks guys, bye.